I have gone over the 855-page judgment handed down by the Court of First Instance, and I found that there is ample evidence against Jimmy Lai on the 3 charges. There is ample evidence given by his corporate staff that he used the next media to distribute seditious materials against the government. As for the 2 other charges of colluding with external forces and foreign countries, again, there is ample evidence that both before and after the enactment of the national security law for Hong Kong, he used a wide cobweb of networks through himself or his agent, like Wayland Chan, to make use of American politicians, staff, to lobby the US, UK, the G20 countries, and the UNHCR to take hostile action against China, including sanctions, embargo, boycotts, and all other forms of hostile action. So I found the judgment to be based on highly comprehensive evidence. The judgment is fact-based and consistent with common law principles.
I'll go through the second question.
Okay.
And what harms and damages do you think Jimmy Lai has inflicted on Hong Kong society? And what significant implications does this verdict highlight?
Actually, from what I know of Jimmy Lai, for decades, actually, as soon as we are reunited with the mainland, Jimmy Lai has been making use of the next media group to stir up hatred against China and the Hong Kong SAR government. He is really a mastermind, behind all the riots against the Hong Kong government, operating under the guise of a media tycoon. Going back to 2014, the unlawful Occupy Central, as well as the 2019 riots, he has been making use of the next media group to incite violence and hatred against China and the Hong Kong SAR government. So I think it is, I am very glad that Beijing passed a national security law for Hong Kong so that our government could take action against him after the passage of the national security law in June 2020.
Okay. Then we'll go through the third question. And during the public trial of this case, it was revealed that the Jimmy Tsai personally colluded with foreign forces on multiple occasions, pleading for sanctions, blockades, and hostile actions against the central government and the Hong Kong government. What are your views and assessments on this matter?
The evidence given to the court by the accomplice witnesses who had all pleaded guilty show that in 2019,
sorry, 冇喐嗰個頂口嗰邊，頭先個聲音有啲問題。
OK， 再嚟講。
sorry，
好，再嚟講。好 ，OK， it's OK。The evidence given before the court by the 6 accomplice witnesses who had all pleaded guilty show that in 2019, during the riots, Jimmy Lai made 2 visits to the US and through his close associate, Mark Simon, tried to contact a lot of senior officials of the US government, including Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Mike Pence, the assistant to the personal assistant in the White House, Alice Kissel, and various senators to urge them to impose sanctions on Hong Kong or blockade or other forms of hostile action. He also tried to lobby the UNHCR and lobby UK and other G20 countries, and he also tried to lobby Japan and try to work in cahoots with Tsai Ing-wen's office to stir up trouble for China.
The Western countries, such as the United States and the UK, has repeatedly made baseless accusations and applied double standard comments on Jimmy Tsai's case. And how would you refute these remarks?
Well, those remarks are totally politically motivated and baseless. In fact, a lot of these governments have been hostage to the agents of Jimmy Lai, lobbying against our country in the West, such as his son Sebastian Lai, and other characters. So these comments have no value whatsoever. They are typical of the Western countries' double standards. They themselves take national security threats very seriously, and they have imposed a lot of limits on the freedom of expression. So I think we will do best to just ignore these comments and rebut them.
Could you please say something? Talk about some specific example of those, of those comments, such as some Western media said that we wouldn't give Jimmy medical care, or we had this verdict because of the political stance.
Okay. For example, there have been accusations that I'll start again. There have been accusations that Jimmy Lai is even being tortured in our prison. His health is collapsing. He's old and he needs to be released immediately. There is no truth whatsoever. Jimmy Lai, as we have seen in the court proceedings, Jimmy Lai took the stand himself and defended himself for 52 days. He was clearly of sound mind and physical health. In our correctional institutions, I understand he asked to have solitary confinement to protect himself against other inmates. And his health has been well looked after. I mean, his heart problem is well attended to by our physicians. So all these accusations are based on a pack of shameless lies.
And the political stance, or do we have this verdict because of his political stance?
Well, the judges have made very clear that the verdict is not based on his political views. It is based on his actions, which fall foul of our laws on distributing seditious publication under the Crimes Ordinance and colluding with foreign forces and external elements under Article 29 of the National Security Law. These offenses are very serious, and they have done great damage to our country as well as the Hong Kong SAR. I am very glad that the judges have come to their judgment, which is very sound and reasonable. And I hope the judgment will serve as an effective deterrent to others who harbor similar plans against China and Hong Kong.
Why do you think this Western media would have some, false news about Jimmy?
I think that's a result of the lobby and the campaigns to free Jimmy Lai, launched by his son Sebastian Lai, his daughter, and other fugitives whom our authorities have charged for infringement of national security offenses, like Mark Simon, like Mark Clifford. All these are Jimmy Lai's former associates. So these people spoke from vested interests, and they have lobbied the politicians and hard to put pressure on the government to speak against us. And these allegations are totally baseless.